All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to more 428 Shibuya Scramble. My name is Raven from the Sky, and let's do this. Aichi told Stanley and Hitomi what his father had done. As she listened, Hitomi hung her head. Her face was sallow. Was it sallow or shallow? I'm so sorry, Aichi told her. I'm not really sure what to say. He clenched his fist so hard his knuckles popped. Sorry, my screen flashed. I don't know what it is about the device or what. You guys didn't see it because on the software, the screen still shows, but on my TV it flashed. His knuckles popped, struggling to keep his emotions in check. So if I were rendered brain dead, you could help your sister, Hitomi murmured. A state where brain function has ceased irreversibly. In Japan, there are two conditions for declaring brain death. It says breath death. That's a typo. What? You mean brain death? The first is that the patient must be comatose and in a state of apnea, no longer breathing, due to the damage to the brain. The second is that the root cause is diagnosed and is deemed that no reasonable treatment will restore brain function. Dude, that sucks. It's the same, they say in Japan, but I think it's the same over here in the States. It's the same two factors. I'm not a doctor, nor am I in the medical field. So don't quote me on that and take it with a grain of salt. I think that's what it is over here. Stop, Aichi said quickly. Please, don't say things like that. A sad look came to Hitomi's face, and she pressed her right hand to her heart. I mean, to find out like this. She turned to Aichi, tears glistening in her eyes. I want to help your sister, but we have other things to worry about right now. This time it was Stanley who cut her off. Remember, Alfred is after you, Hitomi. Isn't that what Kanan told you? Yes, she said I was the mastermind's target. Hitomi wiped her tears away with her fingertips. So Alfred and Aichi's father are after the same thing, Stanley said. Is that just a coincidence? It didn't sound like he thought so. Hold up, Aichi growled, leaning in from the back seat. Yeah, my dad's way out of line, but he did what he did for Suzune. He wouldn't work with terrorists. I'm not saying he's deliberately aiding terrorists, Stanley replied coolly. It's common sense that a pro wouldn't get an amateur involved with their plans. Okay, dude. That makes it too likely that a clumsy misstep will cause things to fall apart. As arrogant as this guy is, he's right. That's the thing about arrogant people, right? I'm not talking about cool arrogance, if any. It's the arrogant people that piss you off. They're usually right, even when they're being a-holes. Don't get me wrong, I love confidence. I'm confident myself. But there's a borderline. There's also cocky. I'm talking about cocky arrogance that gets on your nerves. But then again, that's not the way Alfred thinks. Alfard, I'm calling him Alfred. So actually the likelihood of failure could well be part of the plan. Aichi thought back to what Kanan had said earlier. If you achieve your goals using accidental means, the outline becomes blurred, and it makes it harder for anyone outside looking in to grasp what the actual plan is. If you achieve your goals using accidental means, Not only have they put together a perfect plan, they've purposely left tiny holes in it. So if we assume the plan has failed, this slip-up might be exactly what Alfred wants, Stanley muttered. Sort of an intentional hole then, Aichi said. Stanley snorted. Kanan told you guys that too, huh? That's the case, you really are a fool. What did you just call me? Aichi barked. If you've known all along how formidable this opponent is, you should have given Hitomi over to police custody right away. It's only a matter of dumb luck that either you are still alive right now. Oh my god, this dude. Look, luck or not, me and Hitomi have managed to get by safely. That's all that matters. What exactly is the relationship between you two anyway? Are you guys dating? Aichi and Hitomi exchanged glances. When Hitomi hesitated uneasily, Aichi decided he better speak up. No, it's not like that. We just happened to run into each other earlier today. Guess I'm not the kind of guy who can abandon someone in trouble. Can't abandon someone in trouble, huh? You sure you're not just trying to make yourself feel self-important? Dude! There are plenty of people out here that you can't see who are also in trouble, who are also suffering. That's true. If you only help the ones close at hand, then what's the point really? The world's a lot bigger than you can imagine, and there's a lot you're blind to. So what if I see someone who's in trouble and I'm supposed to just ignore them? Nah, I can't do that. If I see someone who's collapsed from hunger, I'm not gonna just walk on by because there are people starving somewhere else in the world. I'd be all, hey, let me treat you to a beef bowl or whatever. You couldn't have come up with a smart example? Stanley replied with a tiny laugh. Okay, so I'm an idiot, Aichi scowled. My bad. Stanley laughed again. Today's been an interesting day, he said. I was with the other fellow earlier who was just like you. Meaning what? Was he an idiot too? Yeah, he was an idiot. Do all you Japanese have that problem? Dude, this dude is a prick. Hardly. My little sister's so smart, she'd make your eyes pop out. Well, I'm sure relieved to hear that. If everyone in this country were as dumb as you guys, I might actually start to look like this. Dude, this guy is an arrogant a-hole. Huh? What does that even mean? Talk so I can understand, man, Aichi shot back. But Stanley didn't respond. Instead, he stuck his head out of the car window, peering at the road ahead. They were close to Shibuya Station now, and the traffic had ground to a halt. Gridlock again, Stanley grumbled. It's probably better to walk the rest of the way to Indo Electronics. Pulled over on the side of the road. Okay. Aichi got out of the car, feeling his guts knot up with worry. Pretty soon he was going to have to confront his father. Stanley gave Aichi a look. Are you scared about meeting with your father? I'm not scared. First things first, I'm going to punch him right in the face, then we can have ourselves a chat. Don't let your emotions get out of control. Your father might be one of the key players in this case. I don't give a damn about that. Aichi took Hitomi by the hand and started walking. They'd gone up and down Dogenzaka so many times today already that this was probably the last time he and Hitomi would make their way up the hill together. His anger rising, Aichi picked up speed as he marched onward, wanting to confront his father as soon as possible. Aichi walked at an easy pace, wanting to delay the end of their time together just a little longer. Heeding Stanley's warning, I'm going to go with B. We're going at an easy pace. I feel like we're near the end too. It just seems that this is probably the last time and all that. And then we reach the end of Maria's story in the last time block. I feel like we're near the end. It may not be right around the corner, but I don't think it's going past 1800. Once they reach his home, this kidnapping case would be all over, because his own father, Daisuke, would be arrested as the culprit. Kidnapping for ransom carries a potential life sentence, with a definite term of imprisonment of no less than 3 years. Bringing Daisuke down would be easy. Aichi wasn't worried about that part at all. If he didn't hold back, there was a good chance he'd wind up hurting his father. Holding back. Getting hurt. A memory from long ago rose in Aichi's mind. A pure-right karate gi. Thrusting out with his left fist. Daisuke collapsing to the floor. One of many memories of his father that Aichi could not forget. Kneeling before the memorial altar of his mother, Kotone, Aichi wept uncontrollably. He clutched his ohajiki tightly in his hand. The ohajiki. Oh, marbles. Aichi had always been rather clingy with his mother. When she was alive, she had often joined him for ohajiki, origami, and the like. On this particular day, Aichi had come home miserable after getting bullied by the neighborhood kids for acting like a wimp. Aichi turned to see his father holding 2 cups of shaved ice. Come here for a bit. They sat on the stairs together, eating their sweet frozen confections. You want to get tougher? Daisuke's words were soft and simple. But you and me get tough. How about you and me get tougher together? Aichi looked up at his father, frowning in confusion. How are we going to do that? Well, for starters, how about we learn some karate? Karate? Aichi's face twisted up unhappily at the idea. He couldn't even imagine himself punching or kicking anyone. It'll be alright, his dad said. I'll go with you. Don't you worry. Daisuke flexed one of his scrawny arms. His biceps bulged up the tiniest bit. Aichi was well aware that his father wasn't much of an athlete. There had been an athletics meet at his grade school. Even now, the memory of Daisuke tripping clumsily during the parent participation relay was burned into Aichi's mind. I mean, if you're gonna be there. And so the two began training together at a local karate dojo. Aichi put on his white gi and fastened his obi tightly. As he did so, he felt as if his feelings were being anchored in place as well. Aichi, ni, san, or ichi, ni, san. Aichi's gi sleeves made a whooshing sound as he thrust out his fist, in time with the sensei's chant. Even simple kata practice made him feel like he was getting stronger somehow. His dad, having left Suzune in the care of their neighbors, was working up a sweat alongside him. But he was out of shape and his technique was shaky. He was soon exhausted and went to lean up against the dojo wall. Aichi stepped out of the training circle and called out to his father. Dad, are you okay? Yeah, I'm just gonna take a little break. Daisuke sounded like he was on the edge of hyperventilating. Thanks, Dad. Huh? What for? Asking me to come take karate lessons with you. Aichi was sure he'd never have dared to go to the dojo alone. Hey, just so long as you're liking it. Now go on. Get back to training. With a deep bow, Aichi resumed his kata practice. As they were walking home from the dojo, Aichi turned to his father. How come you want to get stronger, Dad? He asked. I mean, you're not getting bullied by your friends. Daisuke was quiet for a few moments before answering. His words came out awkward and embarrassed. I was picked on a lot when I was your age too, Aichi. I had a friend who would always come and bail me out. A friend? Yeah, a friend. The distant look came to his father's eyes. He was a real fighter. I always looked up to him. I wanted to be strong like him. His expression turned lonely. I don't get to see him anymore though. Why not? Aichi asked. Did he die? No, nothing like that. Did you guys have a fight? Something like that. Daisuke smiled sadly. He stared out into the sky for a while before speaking up again. His name's Tateno. My friend, that's his name. Aichi's father increased his pace. Come on, he said. We have to go and pick up Suzune. After that, despite Aichi's questions, Daisuke would say no more about his old friend. By the time he was almost done with grade school, Aichi had grown up fit and strong, almost unrecognizable from his younger self. Perhaps he had the physical knack in him all along. He was chosen as the representative for the boys' karate team, even managing to take second place in a national tournament. Nobody bullied Aichi anymore. One time, Daisuke suggested that the two of them do some sparring. Aichi may have been a national competitor, sure, but he was still a grade schooler, squaring off against an adult. His father had been training for close to 2 years now as well, and his confidence had grown accordingly. Aichi was excited to be able to face off against his old man. Early on in their karate training, Aichi's kumite had seemed rather hopeless. He'd been shocked that his out-of-shape father was able to overpower him, but also pleased to get a sense of how strong the man was. This time, Aichi thought he might as well lose again, but he was going to go all out. As they adopted their fighting stances, Daisuke's face was full of confidence. The instructor gave the signal to begin, and Aichi opened with a sharp low kick. Daisuke didn't guard against it. The blow caught him in the thigh. It looked to Aichi he'd allowed himself to take the hit, not fearing the effect of a child's kick. Aichi proceeded to unleash several more low kicks to the same spot. Bit by bit, Daisuke's face revealed his discomfort. Finally, he yanked his leg away. That was when Aichi realized his father wasn't letting himself get hit on purpose. He was just unable to keep up with the speed of his son's footwork. If that was the case, Aichi felt bad about exploiting his dad's weakness. He decided to leave his leg alone. Instead, he aimed a punch at his father's midsection. He was shocked by the impact as the blow struck home. He hadn't attacked with a great deal of force. He'd just thrown a light midsection punch as a check. But as Aichi pulled back his fist, Daisuke crumpled to the floor, writhing in pain as he clutched his gut. Aichi stared in disbelief at his own hand. That was the last day that Daisuke went to the dojo. Your dad's pathetic. Yeah, he's such a loser. Aichi was on his way home from practice and some older students from the dojo started ribbing on him. What did you just say? These kids were middle schoolers, but Aichi wasn't about to back down. He thrust out with a quick punch, stopping it just short of one boy's nose. Go on, say it again. I'll kick your ass. The older boys went pale, then took off and ran. But this small victory did nothing to bolster Aichi's spirits. His father had looked so small and lonely heading away after quitting karate, but Aichi didn't think there was anything pathetic about that. Sure, maybe by now he was better at karate than his father, but really, what difference did that make? In growing stronger, he'd learned something. Using force to win out over someone else didn't mean anything. Strength alone didn't determine a person's worth. Aichi loved and respected his father for going to the dojo with him. Beating him in a karate match didn't change the way he felt. Aichi resurfaced from his memories to hear Stanley talking on the phone. I see. So that's what's going on? Once we're finished with things in Dokenzaka, I'll bring Hitomi right back to the precinct. Curious, Aichi turned to the American. Who were you just talking to? What was that about just now? By bringing Hitomi in, do you mean you're gonna arrest her? I mean, either one of those is curious questions. Stanley's reply was clipped. I know what they're after now. With that, Stanley proceeded to wrap up his phone call. Guess I'm not going to get much out of this guy, Aichi thought. By now, they could see indoor electronics up ahead. Aichi was about to hurry inside when Stanley stopped him. I'll go in first. You two wait out here. No way. This is my dad we're talking about. And you don't think it's dangerous to bring Hitomi right to him? Well, all right. We'll wait here for a bit. And once we know it's safe, we'll head on in. You cool with that? I'm cool with that. Stanley stepped inside. Aichi fussed about, impatiently staring at the entryway. The palm of his clenched fist was sweating. Never before in his life had he wanted to just deck his old man. Hitomi watched him uneasily. Hitomi. Yes? I'm sorry. I really don't want you to have to see this, but I think you're about to witness the crowning shame in Endo family history. Aichi, don't say that, Hitomi said. She squeezed his hand. He found his other fist unclenching. Please, you have to try to talk to your father. Yeah, I know. Suddenly there was a loud crash from inside the building. The time for waiting had passed. Let's go. Aichi and Hitomi raced inside, barging into the living quarters without bothering to shed his shoes. He heard his father's voice coming from the workroom. Dad! Aichi hurried through the workroom door and saw Stanley holding his father pinned across the desk. "Let me go, please, let me go!" Daisuke thrashed both of his legs. "Stanley, please, let my father go. I want to talk to him." Stanley snorted dismissively, but did as he was asked. Daisuke stood up, rubbing a sore wrist. "Dad, please, you have to tell me. Where's Maria?" "Maria? What are you talking about?" Daisuke wouldn't meet his eyes. "Don't play dumb with me." Aichi pointed at Hitomi. "You know who this is, don't you? Hitomi Osawa, the girl you've been after? Maria is her sister." But Daisuke remained silent. "You're gonna pretend you didn't call the hospital? Nothing about maybe being able to get your hands on a heart? I mean, seriously, it's all so simple. Even I can tell what's been going on. You've been watching me and Hitomi through the surveillance cameras, and you were telling that guy with the cane where we were." The blood began to drain from his father's face. "Don't you go quiet on me. If I'm wrong, then go ahead and tell me the truth." Daisuke's arm shot out suddenly, knocking an external hard drive from his desk onto the floor. It was over and done before Stanley could stop him. Stanley hunched down and picked up the shattered drive. "I'm guessing there was important data on here. Footage from the cameras, maybe?" "I have no idea what you're talking about," Daisuke spat. "You can't do this to an innocent person, Dad," Aichi shouted, grabbing his father by the collar. There was a sound of footsteps from out in the shop. Oh! Someone was quickly getting closer. Stanley grabbed Hitomi by the hand and pulled her back against the wall. Aichi stiffened as he turned his gaze to the door. "So who is it?" Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. My name is Raven from the Sky. If you enjoyed the episode, do me a favor and drop a like and subscribe to help the channel and the series grow. Take care, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.